I'm about 3 years late to this event, but then again, I'm always typically fashionably late. What event are you asking about? The Hellfire Gala, of course. Hola, my name is X, and I like to experiment with fashion as well as talk about whatever the hell I want on social media whenever I feel like it. And in this video, to my surprise, and catching up on recommendations, I revisited X-Men Marvel's Hellfire Gala series and was amazed by the looks and knew I had to cover them. Some quick context on what the Hellfire Gala even is. Hosted by the mutants of Krakoa. While the event has significant cultural and even plotline implications, it's obviously a great excuse for the designers and artists to give our favorite superheroes some great avant-garde looks. So with that, the clear agenda for this video is just to review the 64 designs across the 62 characters within the 2021 Hellfire Gala event. But just to make the review a little more interesting and a little more entertaining, I thought of some evaluation parameters that we could use for this. In going through the designs, I decided to either rate the looks as save the day or slay the day. Along with that, I also wanted to compare the designs to what the characters originally wear, just to make sure that that assessment of style, elevation, or departure was well captured and well validated. All right, now let's get into these looks because we have a lot of material to cover. Starting with Angel, this is definitely slay the day. I love the kind of coat or cape that's over his shoulders. I love an over the shoulder look. I think I've mentioned this a few times in the past. And I love some gold details. There's a nice gold chain. And then the pants are very designer, like great pleats, great kind of creases going on here. And then the shoes match very nicely back to the jacket, and we have a great pattern within the lining of the jacket as well. I would have liked to maybe see some sort of shirt. I mean, just give us a little something, even if like maybe it's like a crop of vest. Warlock is a weird character anyway, and as far as the gala is concerned, all they gave him was a bow tie, so I mean, this is save the day. Okay. Gloriana is also a save the day. Are we getting served? I would say so. But when you look back at the original design of what she typically wears, I'm not seeing a significant departure. I do like what I would consider, I guess, just gold detailing or kind of designs on the bottom of the skirt of the dress, as well as kind of lining the bodice or like the top. It's very cool, very elegant, but overall the design does feel a bit flat to me. Mirage came to slay the day. I mean, all of the prominent gold design and detailing and material going on here is just so extravagant. I just love the hints of the green within the crown, and then there's just a little more nod to it with what's kind of hanging down from either her hair or that cape. I love the cape in general. I love what looks like a feathery material of the skirt. So much going on here that's very cohesive and it's true to the character, but very avant-garde. Havok came to slay the fucking day. This, I would almost say, is the top look. Whoa, especially when you look at what his typical outfit or costume is, like, whoa. Loving those white dimensional items stemming out from the lapel of the jacket. I mean, the design and print, so multi-dimensional. There's a great relationship between like grayscale. This is what it means to innovate men's fashion in a compelling way that still feels very practical and accessible. This needs to be on the red carpet. I think Magik just came to save the day. Here's where I struggle. It's the horns. If you just took that away, it could very much be a slay the day. An all black tight kind of bodysuit with like the heavier, chunkier boot and a cool textured sleeve is really interesting. And then if you really look at the gown in isolation, it's like a weird sheer organza situation with like some color accents. Like the concept is there, the execution and the relationship between all of the elements I think is not very complementary. Synch though, slay the day. And this isn't even like an over-the-top crazy outfit. It still is a departure and elevation and evolution from what his uniform or costume is. But just that cardigan, if we want to call it, with the kind of psychedelic effect, echoes his powers, echoes kind of his brand or identity, but such a simple black outfit underneath with enough kind of layering, polish to it that feels so high fashion and so expensive. And there's even great attention to detail on the silver accessories within the ring and the necklace. Super slay the day. I want this. Mastermind is also a slay the day. You don't need to have like a crazy new emerging experimental outfit to be slay the day. This is a slight elevation and evolution from what he typically wears. We get like the ruffle in the shirt and just the overall kind of style of the jacket, but it feels refreshing and neutral and somehow modern with the color palette and the hairstyle. It really just kind of brings it into 2021 beyond where maybe the character originated from. Prodigy, I kind of debated, to be honest, but it's a slay the day. The gown is very luxurious and ethereal, an obvious departure from the costume or uniform. I wanted a little more out of the boot. I'd say if you're not gonna do anything in the chest or around the neck, then give me a longer boot. Let's go full gender fluid fantasy and ethereal fairy fantasy with like just a tall, fantastical boot. Or give me some sort of stacked gold accessories or like a thick gold statement, something around the neck. But outside of that, it's a slay the day. Banshee is very much slay the day. At first, it's a little kind of hard to get into it, I think, just with the striking, contrasting black and yellow stripes, but it's true to his original design, so I love that. My only critique here is I don't like the clash between the brown and the black neutral. I think that if the brown loafers had to be in here, then the gloves should have been brown. It's such a petty detail, but somehow the brown just feels kind of thrown in there. At least give a little more lace with an additional accessory to coordinate it. And I love the necktie around like not a shirt. Love that kind of way of accessorizing. Icy, fresh and clean. The shoes, like they're an interesting platform without a heel, which is really cool. And even though I don't really see any kind of discernible actual clothing items as far as like pants and shirt, that corset, like a corset with a tail, that's really interesting. Give that to me over some like fitted, tailored pants, and then maybe just like a fitted turtleneck or even like a sheer shirt with maybe some of those kind of crystal ice accessories around the neck. Very cool, very high fashion. So a few characters had like this tuxedo look, which is fine. Some did it better than others. Objectively, I guess it's a slay the day because it's a polished suit, but like we're definitely not getting, I think, anything new, anything that's really blowing me away here. We've seen him in some sort of like suit oriented gear, even in beast, like, so it's a slay the day, I guess. You know what I mean? But Pixie is a genuine slay the day. I'd say darker maybe twist on the character's aesthetic. Really what's interesting here outside of just being a simple black dress are I think the lace designs in the shoulders and the hip. Very subtle, and I think is just an interesting contrast to the more fun, cotton candy, bright, poppy hairstyle situation we have going on. I mean, it could even just be lace sleeves of the dress with black gloves over it. Kind of hard to tell, but either way, it's interesting nonetheless. Exodus, unfortunately to me, is a save the day. Not that save the day is inherently automatically bad. We're not getting, I don't think, anything new here. And I actually think that there was almost some outfits that he wore originally that were like actually fashion. Sprinkle in maybe some sort of classier element to it and you could have had a gala look. Very majestic, great presence. I don't think he's slaying any runways. I think he's more so just beating in some bad guys. Bayonetta, what are you doing here? Right? Like, this is Bayonetta. And especially looking at how the character originally looks, like she does not naturally look like Bayonetta to me. So I can't get past that. And obviously in making that comparison, this is a slay the day, right? Frenzy came to slay the freaking day, girl. This is so extravagant. It's definitely an evolution and an elevation to her original costume. There's, I think, the same kind of color elements. This just takes it to such an incredible level. It almost reminds me, I don't know why I'm getting this in my brain, like the J-Lo VMAs dress from the 2000 era. More expensive, more luxurious, great texture. I feel like, or a sheen we're getting from the material and fabric of the dress. You better work. I don't even know if I want to give Mercury even a save the day. I don't know what's going on. When you look at the original design, this could be considered an evolution, but I don't know what we were trying to accomplish here. I don't know what she's doing here. But fortunately, Manifold coming in to slay the day after that. I mean, it's just so great. This is the kind of body confidence that I think is a little more appropriate for a gala. We still get some skin, but the nips are covered up in just a nice decorated way. The jacket is excellent, great design, cool textures. Like, is that embroidery with like beads? The shoulder pads with sticking up from them are such a cool architectural element. The loafers coordinate perfectly. And this is a piece of feedback for Pyro when we get there, but I love the little extra detail at the bottom or cuff of the pants. It makes the pants not feel completely flat and ties back to the overarching statement design that we're getting. This is just such a slay. Polaris, even though it feels like there's a lot of simplicity and like simple cleanness from this dress, it's obviously a slay the day. The shape of it, again, another architectural look and design. I love the curves. It feels so soft. It almost feels like she's in the middle of a transformation sequence. Like she stepped out of it and is like, actually, I decided to wear this instead. It's so cool. Kind of gives me cucumber vibes. Similar to Beast, Kid Omega, okay. Slay, I guess. Especially flat. It's kind of cool to think maybe like a tuxedo full bodysuit and another female character has a similar design. Maybe I'm missing something. I could have dug deeper. If someone has any context on why they're this similar, would love to know, but we're not really getting anything too out of the box here. Colossus, whoa, hot. What? Let's break it down. We have a sheer shirt top situation, but the pants come over it from the hips with like an interesting fanned, creased, folded design that just gives it so much texture and prevents the rest of the shoe and the pant from feeling too flat. Incredible showcase of body confidence. Nice gold details across the sheer shirt and the chest. The cape or coat is obviously extravagant with a nice striking red lining that just asserts the overall power of the look. This is a great example of how men could exercise something definitely outside of the box in a real world red carpet event while still staying true to a solid, very much masculine look. Northstar definitely came to slay also, especially when you compare it to the original look. I am loving the shape of this. It's a little costumey, I think, in the bottom, just maybe with the knee-high boots, but just the way that one shoulder has a bit more kind of plating or stack than the other, a good asymmetrical vibe. I also love kind of like the cutouts with buckles on the side of the top or vest. That's so interesting. I definitely want something like this. Aurora swooping in with such a subtle slay the day. It's so effortless. Honestly, the effect of the dress is so cool. I don't know if I've ever really seen something like this, or maybe how designers could develop material that could imitate this kind of flow. Very nice. And the heels are also interesting. It's almost like some sort of silver or metallic or maybe even like diamond, and very much a refreshing evolution from her OG costume or outfit. So come through slay. Monarch, it's a save the day. He already doesn't wear very many clothes in the comics anyway, so I was like, really not much to work with. I will say that that like cape or whatever is very high fashion and avant-garde. I would have loved to see that complemented by an actual outfit, something else to just kind of bring out its majesty and its kind of shape and form. But rest assured, because Cannonball is coming in to slay the day. Kind of giving me Ezreal vibes from League of Legends, but I love like kind of a black and gold color palette. I think the boots are super sick, and the overall look kind of gives a rugged vibe, but the vest underneath I think secures it in some sort of class, giving it some of that duality with something a bit more laid back, with something a bit more high fashion. WizKid also slaying the day. His original look is actually a serve, much more on I'd say the street style and the casual style. So this is interesting to see as a bit of an inversion of that, with more high class and predominantly more red going on. I really love that pattern or design and print. It's really interesting and could have maybe done a different boot. Petty, I know. I want the fit immediately. A refreshing evolution and elevation from his original look. I think toes the line between like a rugged, edgy, street style vibe with something more elevated with the silver accessories and the cool button decorations on the vest. And also the style of the boot really secures that classy touch. Khora, Slay the day. Wow. A really interesting kind of evolution and advancement from the original look. But the elements have such great silhouette. The silhouette of the boots, which I feel like echoes the silhouette of the dress really well. And the multi-dimensional components with the fabrics just laying nicely stacked on each other with varying lengths, with enough gold detailing that doesn't steal the whole look, allows the white and the gray to fully thrive. This Wolverine look is definitely a slay the day, with something that I feel like is kind of missing. I love the asymmetry of like the skirt. I love the gradient in the sleeves. I love the top and the simple design with the cutouts around the abdomen, but I feel like the boots are flat. Give me another gold band towards the top of the thigh on the boot, just to not make it feel so hollow, and also tie back to a little bit of that golden design we're getting in the top. This is such a great reimagining of the costume and outfit that he wears, but it's a save the day. It screams premium, high fashion, super quality, professional cosplay, but it doesn't give me that fashion energy. Love the concept of the jacket kind of having those different arms or straps, but give me just something rooted in practicality. A button up, a turtleneck, a sweater, with honestly just some regular slacks, not this fitted superhero situation, but we could have kept the boots just depending on how all of that played together, but that would have made us slay the day, so this is just a save the day. Rogue said, oh, don't worry, I'm gonna go ahead and slay the day. What is going on here? The sharp edges and the kind of different exaggerated cuts of the boot and the collar of the jacket. I love the cropped jacket. I like that kind of same lighter green design, and that red X belt buckle just really complements and stands out against all that green. And there's little subtle button decorations that, again, just give this a little more of that stylish flair and touch, and doesn't feel too over the top and make it look costumey. Something tells me that Bayonetta was supposed to attend this event, because Selene coming through with another Bayonetta look. The character doesn't look like this. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm just like, the character has like flat hair. What is going on? It's an obvious slay the day, but I'm just like, this was almost a save the day, because again, this outfit looks rather similar to one of her other kind of existing costumes, but it's the extent to which the spikes are exaggerated, and just the way those heels are designed is so crazy avant-garde high fashion. Very interesting. Obviously would love to see someone do something different with like a headpiece or like their hair, just to not make this as scary or weird. But Kyle coming through with another effortless slay the day. Strong silver elements, what seems like just an overall silver jacket, and the great statement, thick, dominant belt going on here around the jacket. And I love a belted jacket situation. The rest of it feels pretty standard, but it's really just those silver elements that push this into the next level. Psylocke coming through with what honestly might be one of the best female outfits. Very much couture. That flower detailing and what looks like real flowers just cascading across the front of the dress is so profound. The sheer sleeves, whoa. And we're also getting great shape and silhouette with the overall dress, and the way that the fabric just kind of folds and then even cascades towards the bottom. So much going on here in the best way possible. Wow, super slay the day. Jubilee as well. I'm actually amazed that I'm into like an overall larger flower print or kind of design on the dress. It really brings it to life, and just how the shape and form of the dress there's just a strong relationship between the form of the dress and the decorative print color design elements that really makes it feel like it's a starburst, really just like shining, but in an elegant way with a nice kind of softer color palette with the pink, which I love. Sebastian Shaw, slay the day. A nice, subtle, but noticeable not departure, but like evolution. I keep using departure. Evolution or elevation to what he typically wears. Instead of a ruffle in the front, we're getting like a nice short white tie with some great gold detailing across the front. Loving the fur, and really the shoes I think are such an interesting pop with what looks like an orangey brown and black, and just stands out against that blue suit. So many great elements. Even though Sunfire is kind of giving us a little bit of a Avatar firebender, it still is serving some slay the day. The flame print or design, I like that it's along the trim of the fabric. More subdued, more classy, more relaxed. And we have a little sprinkle of some gold elements just to give that elevation. The shoulder pads are a little armory, a little kind of costumey, but I think in concert with the rest of the items, there's enough of a fashion style twist to make this not completely save the day. His fire kind of decorative elements are also subtle with just some of that gold on the jacket around the cuff of the sleeves and the shoulder pads. But like I alluded to when I was reviewing Manifold, is I would have loved to see some extra kind of detailing towards the cuff of the pant. The pant looks very flat. The shoe kind of honestly looks a little flat too. I think it's meant to coordinate with the mask, but there needs to be something else in the pant for me. Another great display of body confidence, not too over the top, and just has that amazing gold detailing to kind of cover it up. Dazzler came to save the day. I really want to like this just because of the really pretty glittery effects, but not really giving us anything beyond what we've seen from her in the comics already. It's cool. It might make for like a great runway effect, but for a gala, kind of would have liked to see her give us a little bit more in order to slay. Again, a nice, good elevation and even departure from what she's wearing in the comics. I really like the print. It does echo the kind of more exaggerated effects stemming from her neck piece and the back of the dress. The overall silhouette is great. The color palette feels natural and true to the character. This is a slay. And this is very much a departure, at least from what I saw, as far as what she's typically wearing. This is what I would have liked to see a little bit more of this kind of playfulness exercised across some of the other characters that only saved the day. I know that the point of the gala was also just to kind of like reimagine slightly different what the characters wear, but this is like a really cute, high fashion, interesting reimagining of what the character could wear and is very much gala appropriate. Kate Pride, I'm very into this. Obviously, slay the day. The asymmetry with the dress is impeccable. We get an interesting sleeve on one end and then it's completely skipped over to then find the rest of the dress on the other side. Just also the way that one side of the dress is more kind of frilly and loose and kind of ruffled, while the other side is sleek, a little more cut and rigid. The boots are super slay. The silver decoration on one of the kind of shoulders and arm is a slay. Emma Frost obviously never comes to play. Even her original designs are slaying the day without even having to try. And we get 3 different designs for her, which is impeccable. So you know that she's that girl. I think my favorite one is the almost like ice strings stemming all the way down and making a long train. I love the fur designs as well. Obviously very luxurious, very expensive. I also love that vest one piece kind of suit item. And there's even like a strap on the side that really gives it extra little decoration as well. Doesn't just make it too flat or too boxy, but there's just something so mystical about the string dress. It feels like there was probably maybe more work put into that. It feels like it just, I've never seen anything like it as much before. I would maybe say take the heel from like the fur one piece bodysuit look and give it to that dress, just to kind of play around with some contrast of the color and like the form of the dress versus the shoes. Just imagine throughout the gala, Emma Frost coming in with like 3 different outfit changes. Like she is the star of the show, easily slaying the day and the night. Gambit, slay the day. Right? I mean, but I love the touch of purple here. And this is a look where I don't really need any additional purple anywhere else to not make the look feel flat. Between the pants showing some ankle, the robe or the jacket falling all the way down, there's still enough dimension there to prevent any sort of flat, lost hollow vibe. But yeah, I needed some sort of like maybe like a cropped purple vest or something else in the chest just to give it a little extra pop. I debated, more so because the vest is genuinely interesting. I like that the skirt is pleated and ruffled, and then that also kind of echoes the puffier sleeves, but I don't think I like the armbands at all. I like the red straps coming from the armbands. I think it's an interesting decoration that ties back to the big X on her chest, but I would have liked to see it come out from a different part of the outfit. It feels like tentacles and that kind of, there's weird elements like that that are just kind of taking me a little out of this look and is giving me superhero save the day, but I see the style done here that gives it the slay. It's funny because I was just mentioning recently with regard to like a peach look that I'm not big on like the musketeer vibe, but Nightcrawler is giving me that long jacket. A nice, cool, sleek, slim silhouette. Typically these jackets are shorter or just standard length, and then we just get like some sort of tight pant that is very much Three Musketeers. But I'd say just the length of the coat, the black and red color palette. I decided to give this one a slay the day. I was very tempted to just give it a save the day. It's kind of giving a little bit of a costumey vibe. I'd say what does that is more so the sharp shoulders and the way that the torso is. We've seen a lot of like one bodysuit looks kind of mirror this. What gives it the fashion twist, I'd say, is the fact that it doesn't cover the feet completely and we get more of like a semi-strappy heel. And of course the tail or the train adds a touch of luxury and high fashion couture to this as well. And with Wolverine, I feel like we could have given like him something more playful, like let's just kind of go there, you know, even some body confidence or some sort of like sharpness and exaggeration in the suit just to kind of mirror his hairstyle and mirror his claws. But we can't always get what we want, so slay the day, I guess. I was speechless when I saw this. This is a save the day if you have to. I really like the gold detailing around the neck, and I think the boots could have been really interesting, but why couldn't we have just paired that with like a slack and a button down? I have no idea what's going on here. I don't even want to give it a save the day. Like Professor X is the X-Man, and he got one of the least Hellfire Gala appropriate looks. Sunspot is another like, I guess where we were going here. It's a save the day, but what is a slay is that interesting boot that then like twirls around the waist and then stems into a sleeve. That's really cool. I would have liked to see that paired with, again, something simple. Regular shoes, regular slacks, regular button down. That statement item within itself is very high fashion. Just need a little bit more for a full slay the day. Once again, it's just that typical superhero torso and unitard fit. After looking at all these looks, I've determined that's what's rooting a lot of characters in the save the day. Really like the cape. I like the gold detailing on the shoulders. The boots are honestly kind of interesting, and even what's like a skirt-like effect around the pants, but the rest of it is that skin bodysuit fit that doesn't feel like it plays well with these other high fashion items for a full slay the day. But thank God we have Mystique coming in with a slay the day. Obviously, this is just amplified and elevated to the max for a perfect high fashion avant-garde reinterpretation. And the focus of the white around her main kind of figure or center part of her body just really gives a great silhouette that is just further complemented by the darker tones of the feathers or material that's stemming out. And once again, loving a little bit of the asymmetry where there's just more of that fur or feathers hanging towards one side while one of the arms is a bit more exposed. So really interesting. Richter's is refreshingly slay the day. I really like that green print or design on the cloak. The blankness of the cloak and the rest of it, like all the way down, allows the suit to really shine and really puts a spotlight on it, surrounding that green pattern nicely. And there's even like a kind of designed scarf that he has going on as well. Really liking the relationship between the green and the gray in this design. Storm, I'm going to give an honorary slay the day, even though I kind of feel like this is a little save the day, more so just because of the bodysuit. And it seems like a lot of what she's worn in the past just taken to a beautiful level with the incredible gold detailing, and those heels are incredible, super fashion. What would only further validate this and really secure the slay the day is just wrapping something around her waist, something sheer, a sheer wrap skirt-like thing, just to give this a bit more cover up and an extra decorative layer beyond what she typically wears. Perfect. But anyway, we know that she's a slay the day. The suit is cool. Bare feet at a gala? What's happening? Why did they do that? I don't remember seeing his original character barefoot like this. I don't know if that's like an important element, but it kind of does feel like a missed opportunity for some extra accessory that could have elevated this further. I do like the asymmetrical print on one side of the jacket, but outside of that, it's just kind of a really safe slay the day. Cyclops is save the day. I mean, I love the X, the way the X is done. I also like the collar. So this could have been like an interesting asymmetrical buttoned or zipped jacket with an interesting collar like that, and even keeping the X with the sharp shoulder pads. But again, we still have that unitard superhero costume fit throughout the rest of the look that doesn't give it enough of a fashion elevation and like at all. But here we have Magneto super slaying the day. Like, this is some of the treatment that Professor Xavier should have gotten. What I love about Magneto's though is just all the gold detailing, not only within the toes of the shoes, but also just throughout the jacket. A smart, clever, high fashion twist and nod to his abilities. This is kind of more what I was looking for out of a lot of the other characters. Very high fashion, very elite, very old money. Penance came to super slay. This one is just so interesting to me in a number of different ways. The headpiece, which would usually maybe feel like over the top to me, is absolute perfection. Sleek, simple, nicely laid look throughout the rest of the outfit really helps that headpiece kind of take the statement here. And I love the pants, the sheer pants, really nice and elegant, but also doesn't allow the boots to kind of be too aggressive with their color and their pattern. Although we see enough of it carry through so we can appreciate all of the different details. There's something to be said about that skirt. I guess we want to call it that skirt that he's wearing. This is similar to Prodigy, where I just really wish that there was something else paired with this, but the gold detailing and the way it was done within this is incredible, and it really shows the majesty of the fabric. I'm sure the character was largely drawn half naked to show off the like eyeball effects. Again, wanted to see a bit more here, but there's enough of that luxury twist for a slay the day. This is a slay the day. The shoulder pads are really aggressive. We also have the shoes with a really sharp upturned point that I think complements and echoes the sharpness in the shoulders really well. But the chest piece is the costumey element that is way too over the top for my taste. This is where I'm like, again, let's just do a big red button down, like open chested, maybe with like a thick gold necklace, like really simple things we could do. Domino was that female character that also had that full tuxedo look bodysuit thing. I'm into it mostly because I'm just like biased towards a female silhouette in this kind of look. And I do like that she has the white pouches around her thigh as like a garter. So that's interesting. But outside of this, I mean, slay the day, I guess. Pretty privileged. I'm so hungry after going through 64 designs, but I think I did a good job. What did you think? Tell me what your favorite looks are. Let me know if you agree or disagree with any of my opinions on these looks. And honestly, in future videos, let me know how you feel about save the day versus slay the day. I'm open to kind of how we augment our evaluation of the 2022 and 2023 Hellfire Gala looks. Plenty more of that to come soonish, but until the next video, I'll talk to you later.